Listen carefully, because this might be the most important thing you hear today. Life isn't waiting for you to wake up. Time isn't slowing down out of respect for your dreams. Every second that passes is either building you or burying you. And the brutal truth is this: most people let their seconds slip away like water through open hands. They scroll, they complain, they hesitate, and then they wonder why their life never moves. Here's your wake-up call. Every damn second is either an investment or a loss, and you're the only one responsible for what it becomes. Here it is. The world isn't destroying you. Your wasted time is. The enemy isn't outside. It's the seconds you sacrifice to distraction, fear, laziness, and doubt. People love to act like they have unlimited time. They think tomorrow is guaranteed. They think success is some magic switch they'll flip when they feel ready. That's fantasy. That's delusion. Winners aren't waiting for the right moment. They create the moment. They take that 1 second, that one tiny window of time, and they weaponize it. They turn it into skill, discipline, power, progress. That's why they win. And that's why others stay stuck. Every single second you waste is a second your competition uses to beat you. While you sleep in, someone else wakes up hungry. While you complain, someone else is building. While you hesitate, someone else is already 10 moves ahead. That's the harsh truth. Time is the only currency you can't earn back. You can lose money and recover. You can lose friends and find new ones. But once time is gone, it's gone forever. And if that doesn't light a fire inside you, nothing will. You're not tired. You're undisciplined. You're not unlucky. You're unfocused. You don't need more time. You need to stop wasting the time you already have. But here's the good news. Every second from this moment forward is yours to reclaim. You don't need permission. But here's a hook that should shake your mind awake. The version of you that could have existed, stronger, richer, more disciplined, more capable, is being buried every time you surrender another moment to distraction or laziness. Time is not just passing, it is taking pieces of your potential with it. And the terrifying part is that you won't realize what you've lost until you're staring at the consequences. People talk about dreams as if they're waiting for the perfect day. They imagine success like it's a train that will arrive when they're finally ready to step on. But time doesn't care if you're ready. It doesn't pause because you're tired, insecure, or confused. Every second you delay your progress, time is pushing you further behind the life you want. That's why winners treat time like a precious currency, while average people treat it like loose change. They wake up knowing the clock is already counting down. They understand that time is attacking them, stealing opportunities, and testing their discipline every moment of the day. And the hook is this: the person who respects time will always dominate the person who wastes it. Think about how often people say they don't have time. They say it as if time is being stolen from them by some external force. But the truth is brutal. Time isn't taken from you. You give it away. You hand it over to procrastination, to comfort, to meaningless entertainment that does nothing but drain your ambition. Time is your enemy because it exposes your priorities. It shows you exactly what you think is important, not through your words, but through your actions. You can say you want success, but if you spend hours scrolling through your phone, time has already revealed the truth. You don't want it badly enough. Time strips away your excuses and leaves behind your reality. This is why disciplined people rise so quickly. They don't waste seconds debating whether they feel motivated. They act, they move, they build. They know that every second has the power to compound into something greater. One disciplined second becomes one productive minute, which becomes one focused hour, which becomes one successful year. That is the mathematics of discipline. That is the formula weak people refuse to accept because it exposes how much potential they've thrown away. And here's another hook. If you don't control your time, someone else will. The world is full of distractions designed to hijack your attention, drain your energy, and leave you mentally weak. Companies spend billions studying your behavior so they can trap your time. If you think you're in control while spending hours aimlessly consuming content, you're not. You're owned. Time demands respect because it cannot be defeated. You can't outrun it. You can't pause it. You can't bargain with it. The only thing you can do is make it work for you instead of against you. You can turn seconds into steps that move you closer to the person you want to become, or you can let them drip away like they mean nothing. Imagine how different your life would look if you treated every second with the seriousness of a life or death decision, because in a way it is. Every wasted second is a piece of your future dying quietly. Every intentional second is a brick in the foundation of your freedom. Time is the enemy because it forces you to face the truth. It exposes your habits, your fears, your discipline, and your willpower. But it can also become your greatest ally if you start using it with purpose. The moment you understand that every second matters, everything in your life changes. You stop drifting. You stop hesitating. You stop living like you have infinite chances. You start acting with urgency, with clarity, with hunger. And once you do that, time stops being the enemy trying to destroy you and becomes the engine pushing you toward greatness. Discipline is the only real freedom because it gives you power over yourself in a world designed to distract, weaken, and control you. Most people think freedom means doing whatever they feel like, whenever they feel like it. They think freedom is comfort, pleasure, and ease. But that's the biggest lie society feeds you. Comfort doesn't free you, it traps you. Ease doesn't lift you, it softens you. Pleasure doesn't build you, it drains you. Real freedom begins the moment you decide that your emotions don't control your actions. Here's the hook. The man who is controlled by his feelings is a slave, but the man who controls his discipline becomes unstoppable. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you prove to yourself that you're in command. Every time you say no to procrastination, no to weakness, no to temporary pleasure, you strengthen the part of you built for greatness. Discipline is not punishment. It is the highest form of self-respect. It is the constant reminder that your purpose is bigger than your excuses. When you wake up early, when you push through exhaustion, when you train your mind to stay focused, even when the world pulls you in every direction, you're not just doing tasks, you're building freedom brick by brick. You're choosing to design your life instead of letting life design you. The greatest trap most people fall into is believing they can achieve extraordinary results with ordinary effort. They think they can get strong without sweat, get rich without sacrifice, get respected without earning it. They want the reward without paying the price. But discipline is the price. And here's another hook. If you can't force yourself to do what must be done, you will always live at the mercy of those who can. That's why disciplined people rise so quickly. Not because they're smarter, not because they're lucky, but because they're willing to do the work others avoid. While the world sleeps, they're building. While the world complains, they're improving. While the world hesitates, they're executing. Discipline gives you clarity. When your mind is chaotic, when your emotions are all over the place, discipline creates structure. It gives you the ability to say, this is what I need to do, and I will do it no matter how I feel. That single decision separates champions from the forgotten. It's not motivation that makes greatness possible. Motivation fades, disappears, comes and goes like the weather. Discipline is permanent. It's the engine that keeps running even when the road gets dark, difficult, and lonely. And here's the truth. Most people are afraid to admit, you will never rise above the level of your discipline. Your dreams can be massive, but without discipline, they will collapse under their own weight. Think about the people you admire, the ones who have built power, wealth, influence, and strength. None of them did it through comfort. They built themselves through discipline so sharp it almost looked unforgiving. They understood that every day is a battle between who they are and who they could be, and they chose to fight. Discipline is the proof that you're serious about your life. It's the difference between wishing and becoming. It's what transforms potential into mastery. That hits the hardest. If you don't discipline yourself, life will discipline you. Procrastination will turn into regret. Laziness will turn into weakness. Avoiding responsibility will turn into losing opportunities. In the end, you pay for lack of discipline with a life you do not want. And that is a debt far more painful than any difficult moment of effort. Discipline gives you freedom because it puts you in control of your destiny. It frees you from the chaos of impulses, the trap of inconsistency, the prison of weakness. It allows you to build a life you respect, a mind you trust, and a legacy you're proud of. Discipline is not the enemy. It is the doorway to every dream you have ever had. When you master discipline, you master yourself. And when you master yourself, nothing in this world can hold you back. Your competition is working while you hesitate. And that truth should shake you awake because it's happening every second you pause, doubt yourself, or think you can start tomorrow. The world is not fair, and it's not supposed to be. Someone out there wants the same life you dream about, the same success, the same money, the same freedom, the same power, and they're outworking you for it right now. They're using the seconds you waste. They're training while you're scrolling. They're building while you're procrastinating. They're sharpening their mind while you're drowning in excuses. Here's the hook that should slap your mindset into reality. Success doesn't go to the most talented. It goes to the most relentless. And if you're not relentless, someone else will take everything you thought you deserved. Most people live in an illusion that life will wait for them to get serious. They think opportunity will stand still until they're motivated, confident, or ready. But opportunity doesn't wait. It moves, it shifts, it chooses the person who shows up consistently, not the person who shows up occasionally. That's why hesitation is not just a delay, it's a loss. Every moment you spend overthinking, someone else spends executing. Every time you talk yourself out of action, someone else is taking the leap. Every time you say, I'll do it later, someone else is already doing it now, and later becomes a graveyard for dreams. Your competition might not be stronger, smarter, or more gifted than you, but they're disciplined while you argue with your own thoughts. They're committed while you debate whether you feel like working today. They're hungry while you're comfortable, and comfort is the slowest form of self-destruction. The people who rise are the ones who treat every day like a war they must win, not an option they can skip. Here's another hook that bites deep. You're not losing because you're incapable. You're losing because your competition is using the time you waste. And time is the ultimate advantage. Think about this for a moment. Imagine two people with the same dream, same resources, same starting point. One hesitates, one acts. Fast forward a year, and they look like they come from different worlds. One is proud, powerful, progressing. The other is stuck, frustrated, wondering why nothing changes. But everything changed. They just didn't. The reason is simple. Hesitation is a habit, and so is action. And whichever habit you choose decides your future. Your competition doesn't win because they have no fear. They win because they move despite fear. They don't win because they have time. They win because they create discipline. They don't win because they're lucky. They win because they refuse to waste the seconds you casually throw away. The world is full of people who dream but never begin. But it rewards the few who attack their goals with urgency. Not someday, not later. Now. And here's the most brutal truth of all. If you hesitate today, you will envy those who didn't tomorrow. The difference between you and your competition isn't potential. It's performance. It's action in the moments when others freeze. It's focus in the moments when others get distracted. It's commitment in the moments when others run to comfort. Every second is a battleground, and your competition is fighting while you're negotiating with your excuses. If you want to rise, if you want to dominate, you must replace hesitation with execution, fear with movement, and comfort with hunger. Because one day you're going to look back at your life. And the only thing more painful than the work you avoided will be realizing someone else is living the life you wanted. Simply because they acted when you hesitated. Small actions multiply into massive results because greatness is never built in one dramatic moment. It's built in thousands of tiny, invisible decisions that compound over time. People love to fantasize about the big break, the one perfect day where everything changes. But that's not how real success works. Real success is slow, steady, relentless pressure applied day after day until the world has no choice but to notice. Here's the hook that flips your perspective. You don't rise because of one giant leap. You rise because of the daily steps no one sees. The small choices you make when no one is watching shape the life everyone will eventually admire. Most people underestimate the power of small actions because they look insignificant in the moment. Reading for 10 minutes feels pointless. Doing 10 push-ups feels too small. Saving a small amount of money feels useless. Waking up 30 minutes earlier doesn't feel life-changing. But that's the illusion. The truth is that small actions don't stay small. They grow, they multiply, they stack on top of each other like bricks, until suddenly you're standing on a mountain you built yourself. The problem is that people judge progress by the speed of results instead of the consistency of effort. And that mindset kills more dreams than failure ever will. Every tiny action is like a drop of water hitting stone. 1 drop means nothing. 10 drops do nothing. 100 drops, nothing changes. But over time, with consistency, that same gentle drop carves through rock. That's the power of compounding effort. Most people quit because they don't see immediate results. They expect life to reward them instantly for their brief moments of effort. But life rewards the ones who stay committed long enough for the work to take effect. Here's another hook that cuts deep. Your small actions aren't wasted. Your impatience is the people you admire didn't get where they are because they did something massive once. They got there because they did something small thousands of times. They trained when it wasn't exciting. They practiced when no one applauded. They built habits so strong they became unbreakable. And once habits take hold, discipline becomes effortless. Success becomes inevitable. Small actions are the seeds. Compound discipline is the harvest. But so many people refuse to plant because they want the fruits without the effort. Think about how dangerous inconsistency is. One missed day becomes two. Two missed days become a week. A week becomes a month. A month becomes a life of regret. But the same is true in the opposite direction. One small win becomes two. Two become 10. 10 become a new identity. Suddenly, you're not trying to be disciplined. You simply are disciplined. That transformation doesn't come from grand gestures. It comes from showing up on the days you don't feel like it. Small actions also build something far more powerful than results. They build self-trust. Every time you follow through on a small commitment, you prove to yourself that your word means something. You create an internal reputation with yourself that says, when I say I'll do something, I do it. And once you trust yourself, your entire life changes. That's exactly why it's so deadly. Humans naturally gravitate toward the easiest path, but the easiest path always leads to the hardest life. Meanwhile, the hardest path leads to the strongest version of you. The people who climb to the top aren't the ones who avoid discomfort. They're the ones who chase it, embrace it, and use it as a weapon. They know that every moment of comfort is a moment of stagnation, and stagnation is death for anyone who wants to rise. Comfort creates illusions, and illusions are dangerous. It tricks you into believing you're improving simply because you're not failing. It tricks you into believing you're safe simply because nothing is challenging you. But here's another hook that exposes the truth. If nothing in your life is challenging you, nothing in your life is changing. Comfort freezes your growth. It keeps your skills weak, your mind soft, your ambition asleep. You end up stuck in the same routines, the same habits, the same excuses, convincing yourself you're fine. But fine is the enemy. Fine is the slow poison that kills purpose, drive, and potential. Every strong, disciplined, successful person you admire had to break out of the comfort trap. They had to make the painful decision to trade what felt good in the moment for what would make them powerful in the long run. Comfort never gave them anything. Discomfort shaped them. The gym is uncomfortable. Waking up early is uncomfortable. Learning new skills is uncomfortable. Facing failure is uncomfortable. But these are the exact experiences that harden your mind and sharpen your abilities, and discomfort is not suffering. It's transformation. Growth happens in the moments when your mind screams to stop, but your discipline forces you forward. Comfort also steals your identity. It slowly reshapes you into someone unrecognizable, someone timid, passive, reactive, and unsure. It turns warriors into spectators, creators into consumers, leaders into followers. When you live in comfort for too long, you forget who you could have been. You forget the fire you once had. You forget the version of you that wanted more from life. That's why stepping out of comfort isn't just about achieving goals. It's about reclaiming your identity. It's about becoming the person you promised yourself you'd be that hits the hardest. Comfort costs you far more than discomfort ever will. Discomfort demands effort. Comfort demands your future. And many people are quietly selling their futures for the short-term feeling of ease. They would rather feel good today and feel regret tomorrow. They would rather avoid the temporary pain of discipline and suffer the permanent pain of wasted potential. That trade should terrify you. The moment you step into discomfort, everything changes. Your confidence grows because you're proving to yourself that you can do hard things. Your discipline sharpens because your actions become more intentional. Your mind strengthens because you're constantly challenging its limits. And your life begins to move forward because discomfort forces progress. The world doesn't reward comfort. It rewards courage. It rewards the person who chooses the harder path, because that path builds the character required for success. If you want a powerful life, you must become someone who refuses to settle into comfort, someone who understands that comfort is a cage, and even though the cage feels warm and safe, it is still a cage. Your potential lives on the other side of discomfort. Your greatness lives there too. And the moment you walk toward discomfort, instead of running from it, you take your first real step toward the life you were meant to build. Every second is a decision that shapes your destiny. And the most dangerous mistake people make is believing that only the big decisions matter. Life isn't shaped by rare dramatic moments. It's shaped by the tiny choices you make every single second. Those choices build your habits, your identity, your mindset, and ultimately your future. Every second, you are either becoming stronger or weaker, moving forward or falling behind, rising or sinking. And here's a hook that forces you to confront the truth. You don't need a new year, a new month, or a new opportunity. You need a new decision in this exact second. Because this second, right now, is the beginning of the rest of your life. People underestimate the power of a moment because a moment doesn't look significant while it's happening. 1 second of discipline doesn't feel like much. 1 second of hesitation doesn't seem dangerous. 1 second of distraction doesn't feel like a threat. But every second compounds for you or against you. 1 second of weakness turns into 1 minute. 1 minute turns into an hour becomes a habit, and habits build lives. Meanwhile, 1 second of strength turns into momentum, and momentum becomes transformation. You're not controlled by fate or luck. You're controlled by the decisions you repeat. Every destiny is built in silence, in the seconds when no one is watching. The strongest version of you is created when the world is quiet, when it's just you and the decision you make in that moment. Do you scroll or study? Do you complain or improve? Do you hit snooze or get up? Do you stay comfortable or push yourself 1 inch further? People think these micro decisions don't matter, but here's another hook that exposes the reality. Your future self is the result of the seconds you're living right now. You're not becoming that person someday. You're becoming them in this exact moment. This is why successful people move differently. They understand that every second counts. They treat time with seriousness, urgency, and intention. They know that the decision to stay disciplined today prevents regret tomorrow. They know that the decision to take action now separates them from the masses who keep delaying their lives. And they know that destiny is not something you wait for. Destiny is something you carve out of the seconds most people waste. Every second is also a test of your discipline, your hunger, your values, your vision. When you choose the easy option, you fail the test. When you choose the hard option, you pass. And no one sees these tests except you. That's why this is so powerful. Success isn't visible at first, but the decisions that create success are. The world will only see the results, but you will remember the seconds it took to build those results. You'll remember the nights you chose work over excuses, the mornings you chose discomfort over sleep, the days you chose progress over pleasure. These moments define your identity long before they define your success. Many people believe destiny is written, but destiny is written by the choices you make repeatedly. If you choose distraction, your destiny is wasted potential. If you choose fear, your destiny is regret. If you choose comfort, your destiny is mediocrity. But if you choose discipline, if you choose purpose, if you choose growth, your destiny becomes greatness. And the beauty is that you have control over these choices every second, not just during the big moments. That strikes hardest. Your destiny is not shaped by what you want. It is shaped by what you choose. You can want success with all your heart, but success only responds to action. You can dream the biggest dreams possible, but dreams only become reality through repeated decisions. You can imagine a future full of power, strength, wealth, confidence, but that future will collapse if the seconds you live today don't match that vision. The real power of this key point is understanding that you are always 1 second away from changing everything. 1 second away from committing. 1 second away from deciding you're done wasting time. 1 second away from stepping into the version of you who doesn't negotiate with weakness. You don't need a miracle. You don't need permission. You don't need perfect conditions. You need one powerful decision made in 1 powerful second. If you begin to treat every second as a building block of your destiny, you will rise faster than you ever imagined. Because destiny is not written in the future. Destiny is written in the moments you live right now, 1 decision at a time. So let me close with this. Your life is built 1 second at a time. Your future is shaped in silence, in discipline, in the moments no one sees. Don't let your seconds be wasted on weakness. Don't let them be swallowed by fear. Stand up, wake up, lock in, and squeeze value out of every breath you get. Because the man who controls his seconds controls his destiny. And if you're listening to this, your destiny is calling. Don't be the fool who ignores it. Don't let a single second slip. Not today, not ever.